Hello, my name is Randall Chilson and we're up for another video. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe and click the notification buttons. And we're here and it's nice to talk about a lot of these challenges that we're experiencing, and no company, no brand, no product is spared from the challenges that brought about by COVID. And I am with me, my good friends. I think we've been friends for a decade now, for something like that, no? Para mga 14 years old tayo na nagkakilala tayo. Oh, we've been friends for over a decade now. And with me are my good friends, Gerald and Arlyn. Gerald and Arlyn are really our executives. They're country heads for leading brands. We're going to talk about it, no? Tatanong ko lang, mamaya kayo na ho mag-decide kung sino sa kanila mas magaling. They're leading different brands, and we're going to talk about this. And of course, they're going to introduce a little bit. So, Gerald, can you talk a little bit about what you do? And then Arlyn, para ma-introduce kayo sa subscribers natin.
Yeah, currently I'm working with Glico. So I hope you all know Glico, di ba? Yung mga poke. If you go to Japan, yung man, di ba? So I work in that company now as a country sales general manager, and I've been into this line for around 20 years already. We're working on FMCG brands such as or FMCG portfolios like Ferrero, Procter & Gamble, Asia Brewery, Perfetti Van.
Yeah, so you're more specialized in the, I think the right term is like confectionery type, no? Yung mga ano ba yun? Pagkain ng mayaman, ano? Parang okay, so si Gerald is with Glico. They're a leading Japanese brand, no? Everywhere in Japan, and every time you buy something, you will see it's made by Glico. No, here they're relatively new to the market. I mean, focusing that, but he also carried certain brands before, like Ferrero, Kinder, yun yung mga ginawa mo. Right. And then Arlyn, like to introduce yourself, the better wife, the better half.
Okay, hi, I'm Arlyn. I'm the country head for Hershey's. Yeah. So it's also under the confectionery category.
Mas kilala yung brand mo yata, Arlyn.
Ha?
Mas kilala yung brand mo. So Hershey, so everybody knows what Hershey is. But prior to Hershey, you're also engaged with other brands, no? I mean, they know those brands. Maybe you can mention them.
Yeah, well, I'm basically new with Hershey's. I just started last August. And prior to that, I worked for GNP, which is the one that manufactures Gold Seas.
Yeah, the tuna.
Healthy naman siya. It's canned tuna. Before that, healthy pa rin kasi I worked as national sales manager for Asia Brewery Pascual. So that's the yogurt. Yogurt naman siya.
Okay.
Actually, dalawang companies ko similar to kay Gerald.
Yeah, okay.
So from Procter & Gamble and Asia Brewery.
Okay, so you guys have been in like 20 years of experience in all of these brands. And na-experience nyo na rin, no? Those good years and not so good years. Yeah. And ang ganda ng timing nyo sa mga company nyo, bagong-bago kayo, no? Etong sumunod 2020. I mean, they're good friends of mine. We talk about this all the time. It's virtually you're relatively new to this company, to this brand, and of course, maganda lang. It takes senior people like you, no, to navigate through these challenges. So let me start this discussion. And before I know, excited ako, ganda ng slides nyo and everything, we're gonna show it. But what would be at this point in time your biggest challenge for each of your company or your brands? Biggest challenge right now. Sa'yo, Gerald, mauna ka na.
Ako, I'll start. No? I mean, I think I told you this already, Randall. Diba? Quarter 1, we changed our route to market strategy, meaning we're working with a new distributor, right? So we're I think Feb or March 1, we're undergoing our transition with the new distributor. And then suddenly, diba? COVID. So that's a very big challenge. So technically, we haven't had the momentum yet.
Yeah. Okay.
And right now we're facing COVID. So for us, yun talaga malaki problema. Two problems basically, or two challenges that we're facing. So the transition plus COVID.
Yeah. Gerald, sige lang ko. Do you think that it's bad timing or buti ngayon nangyari yan or dapat nangyari yan nung nakapag-adjust kayo? Or is it a good time that this adjustment happens? COVID, so there's more time to recalibrate, or what would you
Actually, it has an advantage, it also has a disadvantage, right? The advantage, muna, you're right. We have more time to, in a way, review the processes, standardize the data, all the data. So, sobrang tagal. So, around 2 months, we're not working, but just looking at the process technically and the plan. So, I think planning-wise, so inside gathering, okay, very, very advantageous to us. But yung disadvantage naman is that we cannot start yet. We cannot do the full blast yet. So,
lahat kayo, puro in theory lang ngayon.
It's a mix.
Theory lang ngayon, ano? How about you, Arlyn? No? You're a more established brand. With all due respect to you, Gerald. You're a more a lot of people know that I spent a lot of money on your brand, bro. You know, with
Thank you.
Okay. So, what are your greatest challenges now? I mean, even your company went through some challenges when all companies do. But kasi napansin ko, you guys are in the process of rebuilding and re-strategizing all these things, and all these things will come in. So, what would be your challenge at this point in time, Arlyn?
Well, for Hershey's, kasi from last year, we're just starting to make a recovery. Kasi Hershey's has been, I think hindi naman to aware with everyone, because Hershey's has been struggling for the past few years. So starting last year, we're starting to make a recovery. So parang last year lang, we made this growth and we were able to hit the target. So parang this year, we have this, since you were able to hit the target and you made this very significant growth. So parang yung momentum mo for this year, andun pa siya eh. So you're already there, you made your plans. Tapos yung plans mo, tingin mo, it's really well established na doing those things, you will be able to hit the target again. But apparently, given na meron ng COVID, kailangan mo mag-recalibrate ng plan, so i-change mo na naman ulit. Yun. So yun yung biggest challenge namin ngayon.
Are you sticking to your original targets, or have you recasted it already?
We will stick to the original target.
Yan ang fighting spirit.
Pressure sa Hershey's, no?
Ganda nung, no? Okay, so, ako sa corporate environment, no? Kasi minsan, you know, yan yung problema, no? The head office doesn't really want to budge sometimes. No? So again, it's gonna be a wait and see, but hey, who knows, you know, if you can still able to hit your targets and you're made out of sterner stuff. So, we want to talk to you about market insights and how we can still continue to grow. So our concept natin is how we need this to survive from learning, no, from establish some studies that we've seen. And siguro, I mean, most companies have been using this concept and idea. Let's talk about it. So, guys, you want to share a slide also, di ba? So, share natin. So, we're going to talk about, our topic is really about how to survive, you know, for brands, for companies, and at the same time, still reach their growth. As Arlyn said, they have not recasted their growth. They're still bullish about it, no? Kayo rin ba, Gerald, you haven't recasted your growth, your targets? You still stick, or?
We're recalibrating our target. So, but from 3-digit growth to 2-digit growth. That's what
It's difference then, no? Kasi you work for Japanese owners, no? Tapos si Arlyn naman more American. So, medyo makita yung difference nung concepts nila. Alright, sige, yan, share natin. I-slide screen mo na lang, brother. Sorry, slideshow. Okay. Slideshow, next. Yan. Okay, so, again, balik mo nga, maganda na makita para makilala nila. Libreng advertising to. Atras mo nga, Jared.
Yan.
Nalito na. So, on this side, this is where Arlyn has been part of. Currently, she's with Hershey. That brand, I know, Arlyn, we were friends when we were talking about this, when you launched this from scratch, you know, all those travels, and we became fans of Gold Seas. Up to now, Gold Seas, I don't know what you did to my wife. She does not want to buy any brand. Everybody knows P&G and Asia Brewery. And then si Gerald, no? Si Gerald is isa sa mga dahilan bakit mataas ang diabetes ng Pilipinas, no? Kayong dalawa. So there's Ferrero. Ferrero is known for many brands. Not just Ferrero, but their Kinder Joy, I think, was a big
Nutella
also, and other brands. And P&G, Perfetti, and Asia Brewery. All right, so yeah, that's a good introduction and promotion for all of you. I will charge your companies for Go, fire! Para kayo nagre-report, ano?
Yeah.
Wait lang. Some items are blocking the screen.
From the field, observation from the field.
Okay. Well, we can initially start with some observations from the field. Because you have to observe and siguro you have to study kung ano yung mga nakikita mo within your environment. Well, we observe that shoppers are making fewer visits to large supermarkets. Tapos, this would be an advantage for the neighborhood stores kasi apparently they're the ones that's growing.
Also, there's growth in the neighborhood stores. And normally, nilaalamon ng big stores, right?
Correct. Because before, as consumers, you would go dun sa mga bigger supermarkets kasi you know that they have the complete line. Mm-hmm. And since we have this limited sa travel, so you will just prefer to go to the neighborhood stores. So yung mga hindi mo dati pinupuntahan na stores, dun ka na bibili since yun yung malapit sa'yo.
I think one example is Mercury Drug, right? So if you look at Mercury Drug stores right now, it also serves as a supermarket or convenience store. So pila pa rin, di ba? And then a lot of people are buying groceries from Mercury Drug now. So that's one of the examples.
Yeah. Another observation is that shopping is no longer a family affair since malls are closed as of now. So yung mga establishments inside the mall, we don't have you cannot go there anymore. So wala na yung family time, wala na yung shopping. The shoppers are pushed to buy more per shopping trip. Kasi if you go to supermarkets now, before you can even enter, ang haba ng line. So para to maximize your visit, what you do is to buy more than what you usually buy para fewer trips ka sa supermarket. And one important thing na na-observe namin, which is very, ito yung big impact sa, I think both sa amin, yung shoppers prioritize essentials and deprioritize non-essentials. Kasi we all know naman that chocolates are part of, they're categorized as non-essentials. And even for supermarkets, pati yung mga accounts, even the buyers, they don't prioritize keeping inventories of the confectionery. They would prefer to get inventories of yung mga alcohol, canned goods, which are the basic essentials.
Okay.
So yun yung medyo nakahit talaga sa amin kasi even if we convince yung account to buy, it's obvious na yung shoppers then they won't purchase, so hindi rin sila bibili ng inventory.
Ask ko lang, Arlyn, so in the stores, in the grocery stores, the shelves where the chocolates are, hindi gumagalaw yung inventory? Or gumagalaw?
Gumagalaw naman siya, pero slow.
Okay.
Yung velocity niya, it's really very slow.
Okay.
Ikaw, may dadagdag ka pa?
Go.
Sa restaurants, no, closed temporarily. So more consumers are cooking at home again, and upper-class households are seen experimenting with more creative restaurant-like recipes. So may konting growth area for that. If you notice in our mga Facebook and in mga Viber, a lot of people are selling steaks and stuff like that, and seems to be people are buying. But I think this is the upper market client, no, and willing to pay 1,500 for a kilo, 2,000 for a kilo of Angus, mga ganyan, no? And you see people are actually buying it. So merong areas na merong growth pa rin. Or I just, these are not trends. These are just one-offs.
Yeah. But for some restaurants, since they're not, hindi sila nag-ooperate or they're closed temporarily, yung sales namin for food service, it's really very down.
Okay. Like taking product like the chocolate chips and mga ganyan bagay. Yeah.
Kasi for Hershey's, we also have yung channel for food service. So yung food service namin, it's...
Yun ang mahina.
Oo, wala.
Alright. Yeah, the trend of e-commerce.
Yeah. Lastly, you purchase groceries from e-commerce. So yung mga consumers before that they have never done purchasing through online grocery stores. Now they're open to doing that kasi nga limited yung access mo to go to supermarkets.
Like you and me. Like
Yeah.
totoo lang. I mean, I've tried it once. I remember meron sa SNR, but after that, parang now, I seem to be doing that also. Okay. So these are really great data that we're seeing. I think a lot of our readers already know this, but it's nice to see that these are observations that we're experiencing in the field. Next slide. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So this data is so of course because of COVID, most of the people always look for information about it, right? So I think this data was gathered I think 1 week or 2 weeks before the lockdown. So during that time, a lot of people are around 85% of the respondents are really watching the news through TV, and 78% via social media, 45% of course word of mouth via family and friends. But I think this trend changed already. So I think most of the people now are into social media, getting their information. So I think on the perspective of the let's say the consumer manufacturers, right? Consumer goods manufacturers, I think there's an opportunity also, right? Even for you, for example, Randall, diba, you advertise now more on social. I think you can advertise talaga maximum your investments in terms of advertising in social media because you know that everyone is using it as an access, right? So I think there's
Guys, current time, are you guys advertising in social media or na-hold din yan?
We do. So actually, in fact, for
yeah, sorry.
But the message would be different.
Sorry, Sorry.
But the message, you can continue to do that, but the message would be different.
Oh, and that's important. The message is different.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Like what kind? Like, hindi na bye. You had this hashtag for Hershey at home, parang, ano yun?
Home with Hershey's.
Home with Hershey. No? So, I think you were trying to, parang, focus on that, yung being at home.
Yeah, we're promoting consumers to stay at home and just Hershey's.
Right. So you're still using social media, but seems to be the messaging has changed a little bit. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yes, more toned down in a way, more sensitive to the consumers.
Para wag mabash.
Yeah, mabash. Yan.
Mas maraming oras ang tao mag-bash ngayon.
Yes. Delikado. Yan. And then of course consumers, of course in terms of they feel concerned more on their family, 60%, then 49% is towards your health, diba? But I think the one thing that's important here is that 64% of the respondents are optimistic that the pandemic in the Philippines will end in the next 6 months. That's why I told you our projections around September, more or less. September or quarter 3, towards quarter 4. But I think yun nga, still positive pa rin yung yung mga Filipinos. I think the consumers are still positive that I think everything will be okay after 6 months.
Lakas ng fighting spirit natin, no? Sa 6 months lang.
Puso.
The rest, sa atin 6 months lang, the rest 1 year, gano'n. Okay, sige. This is, by the way, these are sinasabi nila. It doesn't mean that that's the truth, right?
Yes.
Sige. All right.
This is one of the insights that is really very important for us. I've already mentioned this in the slides before that there were increased purchases for products to stay healthy and clean. Because non-essentials are being deprioritized, which is in our case, yung confectionery items were part of the non-essentials, so we're not really a priority. Okay. So that's one of our major
challenges
now.
Yeah, I think the consumer behavior then prior to COVID, there's a lot of premiumization, right? Filipinos have extra money to spend on premium items, aspirational items, but right now, I think the behavior already shifted. So they are more on the functional items, kung saan ka mabubusog, saan ka safe, things like that.
How to stay healthy.
healthy and safe, no? So, kaya nga,
Yes.
wow, ito okay. Grabe mga growth numbers dito.
Yeah. So I think this is an evidence, no, on the shift of the consumer with regards to consumer behavior.
So for basic essentials and how to stay healthy, obviously, since lahat ng alcohol sa supermarkets are out of stocks, so their increase for this year, this is as of February, so increase nila plus 96%. So they almost double na yung business nila. Plus yung mga disinfectant, air freshener, and liquid hand wash. So
okay, but this was done prior to the lockdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Kaya siguro yung pantry area.
You just imagine how big yung growth nila during the lockdown.
But even before the lockdown, if I remember right, nakakaubusan na ng alcohol and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when this was done in February, we locked down in March, correct? And that's why this is kind of, guys, the data usually we want it real time, but we can't. I hope that they can come up with a newer one. Kasi clearly naman, di ba, yung the pantry area is not yet showed. But I think if you push it a month after, this is gonna give different numbers, correct?
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I think definitely it's much bigger than the numbers we have now. So yung pantry loading,
are they
very obvious.
Tuna, are they selling more? May balita ka ba?
Yeah.
They're happy, They're happy.
Container na daw ang order ngayon.
Wow. So this data on the right side, you will see an increase. That's when do you normally come up with a newer data, guys? Nielsen to, no? Nielsen. When will Nielsen come up with a newer data?
I think should be now.
Should be now, may lalabas na naman. Okay, meron na tayong bagong video afterwards.
Yeah.
Usually a month after.
Okay. So,
na nire-report nila.
Ay, sige. Okay.
Okay. So these are the non-essentials that are being deprioritized. So yung mga snack foods, from 10%, it's just 7%.
Pero may growth pa din, guys. Except for the
Growth pa rin, but yeah, almost flat. Let's say for soft drinks, di ba, yung number one item, carbonated sodas. So yung Coke Zero natin, Randall. So medyo almost flat, di ba? Tapos snack foods, our category around still okay, negative 3% versus last year. So there's a decline. So
decline in growth, but let's be clear with that.
But there's still growth.
Somehow there's still growth, but it's not the growth that you're expecting.
Kayo mga marketing people, iba kayo magbigay ng background ko, economics, no? Growth is growth. Sa inyo, growth based on growth. Kaya lalaki ng target. Okay. Okay. Kaya lalaki ng target eh. Kasi growth on growth. Okay. Compounded annual growth rate kayo, no? Okay. So these are the numbers. So we've seen that growing, of course. Given, no? Because tea drinks and CSTs or carbonated sodas are non-essentials except for Gerald and me. But okay, and Arlyn. So yeah. Kailangan, Arlyn, increase mo yung iced tea consumption mo para makatulong ka sa ekonomiya.
Gulat nga ako, negative 2 eh.
Okay. Very good.
Okay. So for the retailers' point of view naman, kasi even yung retailers, even yung supermarkets, kasi di ba yung operating hours nila, it's shortened.
Shortened, yeah.
So they close early. And
shortened, and people, the number of people allowed.
Yeah, the number of people that can go inside, it's very limited due to social distancing.
Okay.
Kaya, yung retailers, they're claiming a 50% negative impact on sales. So especially for convenience stores. I know that 7-Eleven, half of the stores of 7-Eleven are closed. Mm-hmm. And some of them are not operating 24 hours. So some are open but they close early.
Okay. So yan may mga impact.
Yung impact for convenience stores, it's very big. It's 75% negative impact on their
sales. A lot of your products are being sold in 7-Eleven, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Kasi convenience of buying them, okay? So 75% of convenience stores, ang laki, no? Guys, hindi ba na-offset ng what more or less people are going to the grocery today, but they're buying more. Are they buying more per person or hindi pa rin na-offset yun?
For supermarkets?
Yeah. Di ba pag nag-grocery tayo, we tend to buy more now? Hindi niya na-offset yung decline ng tao?
Kasi for our brands, they usually don't buy more eh.
Okay, depende.
Siguro for other brands, like for yung mga gustong magpa-pantry loading ng canned goods.
So hindi siya cut across the board.
And you know the essential products, let's say yung canned goods, fresh products, yung fresh chicken, yung margins nun is lower than yung mga aspirational products, right? So I think in terms of volume, yes, kaya, but I think in terms of value, there will be an impact pa rin.
Margins,
correct.
82% of retailers pessimistic on impact, of course, that's given. Retailers are hard hit today, correct? Okay. Yan. Wow, 73% of retailers have already closed down selected stores.
They're cutting down, some are cutting down cost, so they're closed.
But I think right now, especially in the provinces or areas under GCQ, I think they're open already.
Okay,
right?
they're reopening.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so this very quickly lang, no? Top threats for retailers would be for supply chain because of the limited movement of the product, even naman yun, because of the lockdown. Insufficient stocks. So, because of the consumers are stocking up. For example, alcohol, right? So right now, hindi ka pa rin makabili ng alcohol sa grocery. Right? You need to go to the wholesalers to buy an alcohol.
Or to buy.
Action, reallocated workforce and increased coordination with vendors. For example, if you notice in supermarkets, the ones who are replenishing the products are the merchandisers, di ba? The problem is the merchandisers, they cannot travel. Let's say na ako, for example, nakasign ako sa Mega Mall. I cannot go to Mega Mall right now. So what they are doing is to tweak the coverage, meaning I can go na lang somewhere near my house, something like that.
Okay. So limited workforce talaga.
Yeah, limited. Then of course, skeletal force lang tayo right now. If you're working right now, I'm sure it's only part of the skeletal workforce. You're still not getting the full steam technically in terms of operation. Then increase inventory like us right now. And I think most of the companies, let's say some of the importers are delaying the arrival of their products in the Philippines because of high inventories.
And I guess you guys were expecting better sales this year. So di ba kayo na-over inventory ngayon? Di ba kayo nasobrahan na inventory? Kasi di ba, beginning of the year, you're forecasting for growth. So I guess
correct.
Stock already.
Correct. So yun yung what we're doing is for us, for example, we're delaying some of the shipments because of the high inventory that we have. But pero medyo tricky na part to for companies kasi if you go ultra conservative, kahit may maganda ka recovery plan kung wala kang stocks, you won't be able to achieve it if you don't really plan for your inventory and forecasting. So it's very critical for companies to have a balance on doing this.
Kasi pag nag-recover, pag bibili, wala kang item, wala na, nakagad sa competitor mo yan.
Correct. So, yeah. So, kailangan sobrang pag-aralan mabuti itong forecasting during this time.
Right. And that's tricky. You don't want to be stuck with too much inventory also kasi loss yan.
Correct.
Ang hirap ng trabaho nyo ngayon. Okay. Kita mga sweldo nyo ngayon. Alright. Okay. These are also helpful, guys. This is really, parang ako nagte-training 101 from you guys. Okay.
Okay. So, given yung situation nung sa atin, kasi 'di ba parang ang nangyayari, yung consumers are leaning towards buying through e-commerce. Kaya lang ang problema kasi sa Philippines, yung e-commerce natin, it's really not that hindi pa siya ganun ka mature for us to depend on it. Parang kung all consumers will depend on e-commerce, hindi talaga kakayanin.
We don't have to we don't have the logistics capacity at this point in time, correct?
Correct.
Correct. Niya, paano yan, di ba?
But I think e-commerce right now, it's really growing in the Philippines. But I think yung fulfillment on a massive scale, let's say during this time, mahirap pa rin.
Yung facilities kasi it's not enough to support kung ano yung business for e-commerce.
Guys, I have a question for you guys. After this lockdown, once you start to open, do you think that the e-commerce landscape will change, will really grow massively, or are we going back to the way we do things?
I think it will change.
Okay.
Kasi knowing the importance of e-commerce, tsaka right ngayon kasi we're starting to learn how to use and how to purchase things using e-commerce. Yung importance nung buying online since we don't have any access going to supermarkets. That's the reason why most of the retailers want to expand online channels kasi they believe na this will be the new trend after this lockdown.
Okay. Let's talk China. China is very retail online, di ba? So I guess so that's very important. Okay, so there's gonna be a movement towards online channels. 91% they want to do that. 55% plan to strengthen relationship with manufacturers. Why is this? What does this mean?
To guarantee supply, technically. So if you have strong partnership with, let's say, with a certain manufacturer, then you guarantee supply. But it all still boils down on how relevant you are to the manufacturers, right? So that's of course pina-priority ng yung mga number one clients nila. Big accounts. So you need to, I think this time, another challenge for companies or even for businesses is to guarantee their supply, right? So, and then pag na-lift yung ECQ, lahat yan bibili agad ng mga inventory, mga supply. So the important thing is to have a good relationship or partnership with manufacturers to ensure efficiency or continuous supply chain.
So ang risk dyan, hindi ka bebentahan or hindi ka prioritize supply. Okay.
Especially for limited supply.
Even if you have the capacity to build it and to sell it, but you don't have the supplies, patay ka.
Correct.
That's what you're also saying kanina, no, Gerald? So kahit may maganda recovery mo pero wala ka inventory.
Yes. Okay. Mahirap pa rin.
Ito challenge.
45% of the retailers aim to reduce cost and stabilize cash flow. Kasi they've already experienced yung hardship, siguro yung dilemma nila on how to reduce yung cost, especially now na merong crisis. So yung learning sa kanila nun for their future operation, how they would reduce yung cost nila para syempre yung margin nila would be secured in case there would be another crisis that would happen.
So are you seeing budget slashes to come this year and next year? Ready na ba kayo?
Well, this year, we're already starting to feel it.
Naramdaman na ba? I guess that's until everything normalized, that's gonna happen. Of course, we might even reduce on manpower. I mean, that's a given. All right.
Next is the 36%. They see the need to improve inventory management. Yung na-mention nga ni Gerald kanina na it's really very important to still have a good inventory. Kasi without stocks, wala ka rin namang ibebenta.
And that also means they need to start investing in technology, no? At least for these things.
Yeah.
Or inventory management. Kasi marami medyo computerized manual. Ano yung term na yun? Parang semi-automated, not fully automated. Correct. So, ganoon pa rin yung marami nangyayari. Okay? And then, I find it a little bit low that only 27% would want to understand consumer behavior. That does mean that consumer behavior or ba't ang baba?
They're more focused sa sales.
Or maybe they're more focused on the problems today.
Yeah, probably. So,
siguro how to improve their operations given na yung na-realize nila na there are few limitations that they've experienced during the lockdown.
Parang,
so baka
Parang
first priority nila.
ano muna sila, first things first muna tayo. Mamaya na market research and everything. Alright. Wow, this is very, very helpful. Para tayo sa mga nakikinig, for those listening, it's like going to a class on retail management and sales and everything. Okay, thank you very much. So, you have more slides to show and really engage in these slides that you're showing us.
Okay lang ba? Mga ano lang naman to, mga 60 slides. Next one, ito. Kasi we find it very interesting. We got this from Nielsen. So this is to understand consumer threshold and accelerators. Actually, there are, start muna natin yung accelerators. Yung accelerators, ito yung, yung that would impact yung changes dun sa consumer behavior.
Is it like a catalyst, no? Something that will spur or that push, or that ignite, or accelerate? Okay, sige. Okay.
Okay. So yun kasi yung first niyan during quality and efficacy, yung consumers kasi they're more after the proactive health and proactive health-minded buying, saka yung reactive health management. So parang they still have the time to choose kung ano yung gusto nilang bilhin. Parang they somehow have the freedom to do it.
Okay.
Pero pagpasok nung yung pantry preparation, quarantine living preparation, doon na mag-start yung rise of local. Rise of local is yung na-mention namin kanina na yung mga neighborhood stores tsaka yung mga other local brands na hindi sila nabibigyan ng priority before or hindi sila napapansin ng consumers. Ngayon, napapansin na sila.
Okay.
Tapos, pagdating nung once we go to restricted living, doon na papasok yung tech catalyst na yun yung technology solution on how you could still get what you need. So yun yung mga online buying, e-commerce. Tapos once you have that, yun na yung kasi 'di ba we're trying to look at the new normal after this. Kasi coming from the accelerators, dun mag-a-arise whatever yung in-expect nating new normals. Yung pagdating ng tech catalyst, yun na, parang a lot of people will rely on e-commerce. Tas, what else?
General question lang. Dito, no? Are you talking about middle class and up or even the lower middle class is going to be affected by this? Or even the lower class? Are they still going to be affected by this or hindi sila kasama sa demographics na to?
I think it's more on middle class pataas. So I mean, because if you look at the distribution, I think around how many percent? Around almost 70 more or less nasa within the middle class. So I think that if you talk about impact, I think it's really more on the middle class, whether you're lower or because in lower middle class, I have access to data.
Kasi will still go to the usual, no, the palengkes.
Yes.
All right. Sige. This is very helpful. Okay, so from quality, we can change, move, then eventually the rise of the local, and then eventually the tech na because you also now realize that you can actually do your shopping at home and buy these things. And kasi parang ngayon ang experience ko is limitation ng e-commerce, hindi na me, no? Because many times I've attempted to buy online but I couldn't. Diba? So medyo low, ngayon, yung online ngayon, medyo low tech, di ba? Text mo, meron ka ba nito? Papipick up mo ngayon sa Grab na mag-aabang ka. So medyo malayo pa tayo, no, at that point in time. So I guess that's gonna change the business models in the future. All right? Very helpful. Thank you.
Pero if you try to look at it, kasi most of the retailers or even yung mga manufacturers are gearing towards improving their e-commerce or yung technology nila. They really want to improve it after knowing the importance of what it can do during this time of crisis. So most probably once they have improved it, baka, yun nga, maging tech catalyst na most of the consumers would start to rely on doing e-commerce.
I guess prior to the COVID, e-commerce is nice to have. I mean, you want to put that e-commerce. Pero after COVID, it's a must-have na. From nice to have distribution to a must-have distribution. Parang ganun, di ba? Mm-hmm. Prior to COVID, okay, sige, marami naman nagtatry na mag-e-commerce yun. Kasi may Lazada na and all these things. Pero hindi, kailangan mo yung volume, tapos hindi pa magandang kalaking importance para sa kanila. Traditional pa rin yung way nila. But I guess after COVID, hindi na siya nice to have, no? Hindi na siya, okay, hindi na, para lang meron. Talagang kailangan na natin ito.
It's a must.
Yun na yung change. Okay.
Okay. So, these are just the details from the previous slide, yung consumer behavior threshold. So, yung start kasi, yun nga, na-mention ko kanina, proactive, health-minded buying, tas reactive health, which are under the quality and efficacy. The start of pantry preparation, which is yung rise of local. Then comes yung quarantine living preparation, which is also, yun yung, kasi quarantine na, so you'll start to rely on the rise of local.
Andito tayo ngayon. Where we are now.
We're in the restricted living.
Oh, restricted living pa rin tayo. Okay. Okay, tama.
Philippines.
Pero ang bilisan ng prep, di nga tayo naka-prep, di ba? So, now we're in the restricted. Okay.
Tapos last would be yung living a new normal, which yung people were expected na yung it's expected that people will return to their daily routines but operate in a new renewed cautiousness. Ano na sila, diyan na papasok yung andito ba yun? Mamaya, sige. Diyan na papasok yung yung mga ibang ways of living. Kaya we call it the new normal. Later we'll show you in the next slide siguro.
Okay, sige.
Ito just an overview for the global status in terms of dun sa consumer behavior. For Philippines, we're in threshold 5, na restricted living. So far, ang nasa 6 pa lang, which is yung pinaka-last na, yung living a new normal, is China, since sila naman yung nauna.
Okay.
Sila na rin yung nauna for living a new normal. Yung sa China kasi, they can say that they're in the new normal kasi they have the new retail environment. Yung dating consumers that they're not ready to embrace yung online shopping. Tsaka yung older generation, now they're open to do it.
Okay.
Tapos,
we can learn a lot from what's happening in China, no? Parang to move forward. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So yung mga nasa pink na color, so those are the countries na nasa threshold 5, so restricted living, but moving towards 6.
Okay.
For Philippines, we're still on threshold 5.
Okay. Does this have to do with infection? Because some countries have higher infection rates and yet they're not color blue, they're color pink already. Or discarded na ng government nila yan, I guess. Diba?
I think pag na-flat na yung curve din I think that's another factor. So,
yeah, but the US has not flattened their curve.
Wala pa.
Ayaw nila talaga. Okay.
Or even US, I think kaya US na gano'n na rin, di ba? I think they already start, some of the states are already...
So I guess the latest number we'll see blue areas already in the US, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
US is already here. Ayun. So they're restricted living moving towards 6.
Okay.
Yeah, so behavior lang across social class. So of course ABC up until middle class yan, di ba? So we do panic buying, right? But unfortunately, D&E, they have very limited resources. So I think that's why the government is really focusing on this group in terms of support, right? Then of course, ABC stockpiling. DE, been looking for alternatives kung saan sila pwede
alternate seeking.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of them are willing to pay more. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So middle class to upper class, panic buying. Yung iba panic lang.
Okay.
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 Wow.
So So yung for middle class to upper class, they have this option to work from home. So they would still get their salary.
Okay.
So secured pa sila since they're still working. But for the DE, na yung sa kanila kasi is no work, no pay.
Okay, yeah. Kailangan yung that's really the challenge for them. Okay.
So for bank individuals, they opt for mobile apps to give.
Give? Okay. Saan ba they go to the remittance to receive?
Remittance branches to receive.
So if you look at this, no, yung malaking opportunity ngayon yung industry na yan, yung remittances, right? So if you look at, even if you go out, let's say, from the village, makita mo yung mga Palawan, ano, di ba? Kasi So I think in other industries, they can get growth, right? But yeah.
I think there's a lot of room to improve in fintech. Diba? And look at GCash, no? There was an increase in the internet intent for mobile banking. GCash searches increased by 46%. BPI login increased by 26%. Right? I think that's yung BDO ngayon, may oras na kasi hirap daw makalogin. So, okay? So, these are shifting towards okay?
Tsaka yung maraming banks din, they're closed. So, yung tao, instead of falling in line and waiting dun sa bank, online banking na lang.
Okay. But the sad part, the lower classes they have to flock to the remittance center.
Remittance center.
And risk of infection and on and so forth and so on.
Mm-mm. So ano naman for middle class, yung sector ABC. So yung yung focus nila is they're really anxious about the virus, how they would be safe. Tapos they always do things in caution. But for yung sector DE, ang focus nila is how yung food, yung basic needs nila.
Okay.
Yun. So yung different, yung priority rin nila tsaka yung focus nila differs.
Yeah. Okay. So nice, no? So the ABC market are concerned about the virus. The others are concerned about the hunger. Okay. So, okay.
Tapos aside from yung demand for e-commerce, kasi di ba lahat ng tao nga nasa bahay, so wala ka rin magawa kundi mag-social media. So yung digital media natin nag-grow since most of the people, yun na lang yung ginagawa nila. But kung titingnan natin yung activities nila, they usually read news online. Tapos yung mga instant messaging, Facebook, yun, it's growing nowadays.
Mm-hmm. That's why companies are really capitalizing on this. So I think their ad investments are focused towards social media right now. That's what it is.
And also there's an alternative, yung alternative natin for home entertainment. Andiyan na yung Netflix, tapos yung mga nagti-TikTok.
Yan, ang TikTok, no? Sige, abangan natin yung TikTok channel nyo. Okay, sige. As ni TikTok talaga. Well, because we have a young population, I think that's also something about that. Pero yeah, look at Netflix. And I just found out what View is. View pala is a Korean, it's like a Korean Netflix.
Ano yan?
View.
Wala. Di alam ni Gerald yung View. Okay. Hindi ka updated, brother. Okay. It's a Korean Netflix. Parang something like that. Okay. Balik mo nga ng konti, I saw something that you post, Arlyn, no? Despite flocking to the internet, many still relied on TV for news. I guess they still TV for the news pagdating sa ganyan or online news, no? Hindi just so kaya nga pag meron mga tumataas pa din. All right. So these are good information. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So given those, so how should the brands participate? Kasi 'di ba, yun nga yung na-mention kanina na sabi ni Gerald na yung brands are trying to capitalize yung increase or yung growth sa social media. Yung ang napapansin kasi namin na if you participate, parang you make the consumers feel na you're still relevant.
All right.
You're concerned on what's happening. So parang kaya sabi dito na brands who are able to deliver purpose in an ethical way saw their value grow twice as much as average brands. If you kasi parang yung Filipino kasi 'di ba more on emotional. If they know that you care for, if this brand cares for them,
they will use the brand.
Loyalty, or somehow yung loyalty would come in eh.
Okay.
Na this brand helped me when there was a crisis, so I would buy this brand. Parang ganun. Kaya yung ang ginagawa tuloy ng ibang brands, they post in social media, or they let them know na they're doing something to mitigate whatever yung nagiging issues natin with this pandemic, para somehow the people will know that this brand cares for them.
Alright.
Parang ganun.
It's a good marketing training we're experiencing right now. Okay? So
just to give you an example of what the other...
I didn't napansin na ako. Sorry, nagdi-nitpick na ako. Can you go back one more slide?
Okay.
So it's consumer awareness for their own safety has heightened. They expect the same with brands on the product and services. Consumer expectation from brands across categories. Mataas ang insurance because I guess they're more afraid of what's going to happen to them. They expect the insurance companies to be there for them. Parang ganun ba? Ganun ba yung tama ba yung pasa ko sa data?
Yes, I think. So, yun nga, I think, because, diba, as we all know, I think when we go to the new normal, it's all about fundamentals. Eh. When you talk about fundamentals, ano lang yan, safety lang yan, diba, survival, things like that. So, I think, insurance, more Filipinos, I think, would really invest more on insurance, for sure.
Good.
I think guaranteed yan after
they realize na kailangan pala nila ng insurance.
Realization. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Mas mataas pa siya sa food eh. Di ba?
Oo nga, napansin ko.
So, insurance higher than food and consumer goods. So, even higher than health and wellness. Di ba? So, I think it's a good thing for the insurance industry.
Okay. So these are just some examples of the companies that are doing that. Na they're showing social relevance in digital, and all not just digital, but also showing the consumers that they care, and they're really into mitigating the issues that we have right now. So yun, medyo si Jollibee,
okay,
si Ayala, San Miguel, Gokongwei.
Yeah. They were able to and I think they were quite fast also. Okay. Right?
I think the objective of the companies, each company, regardless if there's a pandemic or not, is to be a love brand, technically. Like, love brands. So I think this is a good opportunity for them to really highlight that, or to really capitalize on that opportunity.
They want to be a caring brand, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Hindi. Ay, takot sila mabash. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are also some of the companies that adjust their business plans, work arrangements, and assure employee pay benefits. So examples are Coke, Nestle, Colgate-Palmolive, Vigo.
Yeah, it's also nice that companies are showing that they care for their employees at this point in time. Yun na masweldohan sila and stuff, and they can probably use that to help marketing at the same time. Okay.
Kasi even their employees would be their spokesperson. Eh, na this company I'm working with, they're here for me. Parang ganun.
Okay.
Ito naman examples of retailers and manufacturers that adjust their marketing communications to help continue to stay relevant. Yung na-mention ko kanina na you can still post yung mga digital campaigns mo, but the message would be somehow different.
Very good. Okay.
Yun. So yung ganyan, parang parang nako-connect mo siya dun sa crisis on how to, parang yung contribution mo for helping out for COVID.
So I guess busy ang mga marketing people ngayon.
Oo.
But I think what you will notice here is that, let's say for example, Ligo, di ba? You don't see Ligo before in social media, but right now they're really capitalizing in social media. So meaning, even functional brands or functional products right now, they use this platform to really advertise or to capitalize.
Okay. And to add on to brand premium also.
So same with Hershey's, ma-plug ko lang. So we're also doing the same thing. So parang we're giving awareness to people na parang comfort snack, you can buy chocolates. Parang in a subtle way, you're telling them na comfort snack pa rin si chocolate. And yun, na we're donating some products for hospitals and giving disposable masks to help out yung mga frontliners.
And I guess a lot of the companies are now posting their CSR. So medyo sila to post their CSR. Right?
Okay. So those were some of the information that we have gathered and we can share. So next slides would be our insights.
Okay. Wow. Very good learning. Right.
So I'll start with this one. No? So for me kasi, insight is very important. No? So regardless if you're working or in a company or you have a business or probably as an individual also, very important. So I think what we need to do right now is to assess our current position with regards to, let's say, our resources, right? So for example, us as a company, how much budget can we spend, right? Or how much money can we spend when we start the business? Or is it still okay to do major launches, or are we going to stick with the fundamentals, right? So those kind of things. I'm sure you know all companies knows it. What's their current position, and then what's their available resources, and they need to assess everything in order for them to know technically what are their this will be converted to their strengths and weaknesses, right? Then, of course, external, the COVID impact, clients, for example. So what's happening with their clients? Can they operate fully or limited ba sila? Do they have also funds to purchase your product, something like that, right? Also, competition, very important. Competition, I think the COVID situation, in a way, brings, in a way, levels the playing field, right? Even the big competitors right now are experiencing the same problem that we have. So it's a good opportunity for you to capitalize on this. Let's say, pag nag-start on May 15, di ba? Ano yung kailangan mo strategy to in a way to increase your, if you're for example, if you're a market leader, how do you protect, di ba? Your leadership. If you're let's say challenger naman, how do you challenge the market leader more? So things like that. Another would be the government, of course. Everything depends on this. So in fact, we already had, I think, 2 or 3 extensions, right? Since the ECPs first lifted. So it would really be a big impact for us. Also the new normal. So this would serve as our opportunities and threats when we strategize. And of course,
yung na-mention kasi kanina ni Gerald na one of the external factors for you to assess is the new normal. So ano nga ba yung new normal? Kasi during the lockdown, we've been practicing yung social distancing. So a lot of people will assume that when new normal comes in, yung physical distancing will still happen. So parang andun na yung avoidance mo to go near to other people. Kasi yung fear mo na baka may sakit to or something like that. Na nasanay ka na merong social distancing. Then food and retail, before kasi we can freely visit yung restaurants, yung supermarkets. Pero during the new normal, yun nga, na-mention natin kanina, the e-commerce and online shopping would be improved given the expected change dun sa consumer behavior. So yung retailers would really start to bank on e-commerce. Once it improved, so yung consumers would depend on it already. So even yung work they're looking at it na pwedeng mag-change na since we're starting to get used to working remotely. So baka yung telecon or mga online discussion would still continue.
I think companies right now, or a lot of companies probably would try considering yung work from home option.
Yes.
Because I think based on experience, diba? 2 months, we've been doing this for 2 months. I think, Arlyn, for example, almost every hour, punong-puno yung calendar niya, puro meeting eh. So, I think we can still achieve efficiency.
And, that also, and also from a corporate structure, that can also generate some cost savings. So
yeah.
If you exercise work from home, now that the new normal will come in, babantayan niya lahat ng costs. I mean, babantayan mo lahat eh. So they will try to look for areas, and this happened in Singapore in some areas, to reduce, kasi taas na rent nila, to reduce cost. Nagkaroon sila ng work from home structure na some companies you're only required to go to work twice a week, and the rest is work from home. So I believe certain jobs will maybe go towards that direction, and that's going to change certain measures. Right.
Okay. So for the plan, so after knowing all those, you've assessed. You're starting to assess yung condition mo or where you're at now. So what's the next step? First, kasi diba, each company needs to be resilient, especially this time. So resilience is a way of being. There is also a change in mindset. So mindset shift from respond to recover. And then yung first step mo is to recover and grow revenue. Kasi in our case, na kahit na alam namin na meron kaming lost sales for the next 3 months, but still we're still aiming to grow and to hit whatever yung forecast namin for the year. So gagawin doon is you take a second look of your current business plan. Definitely there would be some changes on the business plan. Then reshape strategy for business continuity. Then you also have to assess financial and operational risk. Kasi if you'll continue yung business, yung capacity mo financially and yung operation mo, can you still support whatever yung business plan mo for the year? Then especially yung pag-increase ng margins and profitability.
And that's going to be a major consideration now, no? Kasi recovery, eh. You want to be able to get it somewhere else. So moving forward, the new normal means a lot of bantay on costs and all these things. No? Kasi, traditionally, on a good economy, nakabantay tayo sa revenue, and we know that cost can support it. No? But now it's a little bit on the challenging side. So, okay, good luck sa inyo. So,
then next is to accelerate digital transformation. Kasi after na kailangan mo siya. So for your plan, e-commerce enablement will be a must. Okay. So sabi nga ni Randall kanina na before it's just nice to have, but now it's really a must. Then you also have to plan and support the workforce and operating structure. Kasi during the lockdown, you've realized ano yung mga flaws mo tsaka mga limitations. So this is the time for you to recalibrate kung paano mo siya masusupport if ever this thing will happen again. Then, I think pinaka-importante yung manage stakeholder expectations. Kasi they really want, kasi syempre as stakeholders, what you really need to get from the company is to have a very good revenue. So you still need to hit whatever you've forecast for the year para you gain whatever profit you're expected for the year as well. Pero you have to manage expectation na you deliver whatever is possible. But let them know of the limitations also.
Your companies are public companies, tama ba? Is Glico public? Glico and Hershey?
Public.
Yeah.
Public.
Definitely, they look at the numbers, no? They're expecting earnings to... I don't know how you're going to increase earnings, but I guess it's going to be the expectations. Okay?
Okay. Ito lang, parang last, some insights lang for consumers. Kasi changes in consumer behavior post-COVID-19 are uncertainty. So parang definitely there will be some changes in consumer and customer behavior. So first, as for your brands, you have to survey your customers. Kasi you learn how they think about the brand, tapos their purchasing mood and their insights can help you formulate your post-pandemic strategy. Kasi during this time, once the pandemic is over, you have to make a new strategy following the needs of the consumers. Kasi definitely yun nga, the consumer behavior will change. Then you also have to
be a given, that we will change our behavior. I mean, I guess even us will change our behaviors, no? Okay? So paano yan? Mahilig tayo mag-travel. So
wala, goodbye na daw.
2022 na, 2021.
Kami nila, Gerald and Arlyn, we have the traveling group. We try to travel once a year. So wala na in 2020, no? Pero okay. I mean, even those things, diba? Small things that we take advantage, we took for granted, it's gonna change. So behaviors will really change. The way we consume, the way we spend. So yeah. Okay. I hope that people are gonna save more. I think magbunga lahat ng mga sermon ko for the last decade. Okay.
But I think yun yung mangyayari. Everyone will stick with the fundamentals. I think a lot of us already learned on this situation. Kung hindi ka nakapag-prepare, may matututunan ka rin. I think
correct.
Yung people na hindi nag-establish ng foundation nila before would learn to prioritize those things after the COVID, diba?
And you can also apply that for the companies. No, companies know hindi malinaw contingency plans. Maraming kumpanya walang crisis plan. So, kung meron man crisis plan, parang on paper lang, diba? So, okay? I was interviewing another CEO and the crisis plan is the one that helped them grow. But of course, during that time when there's no crisis, parang ano lang yan parang dagdag trabaho lang para sa atin. I think every company now will have a crisis plan. A solid, stronger, more detailed, more structured contingency plan. Hindi na on paper lang. Okay. So yan. So here, improve your industry and competitor insights. I like this now. Your competitors are up to something. And I agree, the industries will change.
And if you will not adapt, kasi you'll be left behind. Definitely your competitors are thinking of something, a new strategy that they can use. So you really have to go with the flow. You also need to strategize how you can still gain your losses. Saka how can you still be relevant? Yung brand mo would still be relevant.
Okay, that's gonna be given. Hindi ka pwedeng masyadong stagnant or static. Post-pandemic, world may be the same, it may be different. You can't assume either. Wow, that's a strong statement. Yeah, point.
This one, actually, we're already starting to do this as early as now. Brands need to allocate some investment in research, insights, and optimization that will aid to accelerate business in a post-pandemic environment.
I think there are going to be new industries after this. There's going to be a resurgence on study, insights, behaviors, crisis management. I think these are certain trends that are coming up. I guess that's going to happen. Okay, that's good. Are you showing any more slides? Ayan. So
no, tapos na. Follow us on Facebook.
All right. So this is very helpful, guys. Para ako I feel like I'm in a class, no? So you guys are really top-notch. And there's the reason why you guys are country head. Nakataon na mag-asawa kayo, kaya pinagsama ko kayo. Kasi baka si Gerald, magalit si Arlyn, magalit si Gerald. Sinabay ko na kayo. But really, there's a lot of learning. It seems to be, we're very, very far from really understanding everything. But I guess there's still room. I mean, do you still see, proverbial question, pang Miss Universe. Pwede pa ba tayo mag-grow after this COVID? Pwede pa ba kayo mag-grow after this COVID? Alam ko kailangan nyo mag-grow, no? Pero, do you still see, honestly, you ask yourself, can you still see growth and how can you affect this growth?
I think we will still all, I think not only us, but all of us, I think we will grow after this one. So I think that would be our source of competitive advantage then. If we don't grow, if maybe we don't adjust, we remain stagnant, I think we cannot sustain our business. So I know we have a lot of problems for 2020 because of the COVID. Us particularly, we also have a transition. So there's a lot of challenges. But I think this year would dictate your midterm plans technically, or your midterm strategy. We're talking about, let's say, 2-3 years from now, right? So I think as much as possible, we maximize all the potential of 2020 still, despite the problems. So yes, we do some calibrations, but at the end of the day, we stick pa rin with our objectives, right? So it's either we grow, or probably if you don't grow the top line, you maintain a healthy bottom line, something like that, right? So that's a strategy. Yeah.
Right? Or maybe you can use also this as a jumping board for 2021, correct? So
correct.
How about you, Arlyn? Are you still I know that you haven't recalibrated your bosses expecting.
So we're sticking to the forecast that we have for 2020. But actually, this is also a test of resiliency.
Yes, correct.
If you'll be, parang ang mindset kasi with Hershey's, if you'll be able, you have to think of ways on how you can recover. We've already identified the risk. So your next question would be, how would you mitigate that risk?
And respond to it.
How will you solve or eliminate that risk? Okay. And think of opportunities on how to do it. So that's the question that was usually being asked during meetings, which is, as Gerald said, every hour. So
I can imagine your meeting now. I can just imagine gano'n ka intense ang mga meeting.
Okay. So there, you have to identify opportunities, especially yung timeline. Would it be possible if you start with this month? Can we still do it until the end of the year? You have to be sure na the timeline would be doable.
Okay.
And
yeah, I think yung make sure you execute also your plans well, right? So we have 2 months of planning that we're doing. All of us, we're just at home. We have a lot of time planning most of the time. So I think the gauge would be the execution, right?
So naman maraming may sabit sa execution.
Yeah. Because they say, di ba, parang planning is just 10% of the job, basically. So 90% is execution. So doon mo makikita ngayon yung talagang kung sinong mag-grow, kung sinong, di ba, makakakuha ng market na malaking market share. So it's all about execution starting May 15.
Hindi na matetest ang teamwork. Kasi minsan ang ganda ng plans pero pagdating sa teamwork, no? But personally, my question now before we end this session, una, thank you very much. You have a really wonderful session. Para tayo
market study.
Ito tayo, no? Paki-stop nga yung sharing natin. Stop share. Masaya pala, yeah. So para tayo nag-market study ngayon and really good insight. But my last discussion with you as we close this session, on a personal level, are you still hopeful? Kayo personally, as a couple, as parents, as individuals, are you still hopeful for the future?
Yes, ako first with regards to
Miss Universe lang ang tanong,
Pang Miss Universe.
Pang Miss Universe.
Pero I see, guys, data ko lang lagi sa kausap ko are you still guys hopeful? I mean, despite of what you see, you guys are bombarded with a lot of studies. You're out there, you're seeing there. This is not having a positive mindset, but really, are you still, and where do you base that hope of yours?
Yeah. Me, I'm really hopeful, excited, in fact, to assume for this to finish, right? So by May 16, we all go out again and probably work. Depends on the government, of course. But I think I'm very positive. I think I'm hearing all your talks during the last 2 months, Randall. Also, you're talking about the fundamentals.
Yeah.
This is different now versus, let's say, 10, 20 years ago. So, in fact, I think the last 5 years, the Philippines, in terms of consumer positiveness, the Philippines ranking between top 1, 2, and 3. Right, so I think the Filipinos are still. With regards to consumer standpoint, I'm really positive on it. So I think the Filipinos, our population is really high. It's a consumer-driven economy, right? So I think we can get back on this. On a personal level also, yes, I think we all learned a lot of things from this one. I mean, personally, of course, we need to be more secure, diba? After this, I mean, in all aspects, not only, let's say, in terms of money, or let's say in terms of what they call this, our career, but also spiritually for me, right? So I think this time we also assess also our spiritual position in a way.
I mean,
things like that.
We cannot remove our faith from all of these things.
Yes.
Remove and all these things. So, and you're hopeful. I mean, you're not necessarily, guys, you're not very young. Hindi na kayo millennials.
Bata pa.
So, but
young looking.
But moving forward, diba? I mean, the hope that we have is, I don't want to sound cheesy, but the hope that we carry, all of us, is eternal in nature. That's why it's never going to be extinguished.
Yeah.
So very important that we take care of our soul, take care of our spirit at the same time, no? And that, of course, will all boil down to a relationship with God. So without the Lord, market study, you know, at the end of the day, these are just data, these are just tools. No? At the end of the day, I think we need to understand that God is indeed sovereign in our lives, even sovereign over our plans.
Yeah.
Agree. Okay. Bakit ka hopeful?
Am I still hopeful? Definitely hopeful pa rin. Kasi di ba, parang sabi nga nila na yung best motivation daw for a person is yung hope pa rin. Dapat meron kang hope within you. Tapos kung wala ka rin kasing hope, parang wala rin magpupush sa'yo to do things eh. So if you're hopeful na this will happen, you have to still push yourself to do it.
And where do you anchor your hope, guys? Where do you anchor your hope?
Siyempre, last call para ni God yun.
Yeah.
I think
kasi you know how hopeful you are. If it's not God's will, hindi pa rin siya. It will not happen.
Amen. So I guess you need to remind a lot of people, you know, we are business people, we're very practical. Like you've heard our discussion, we're very pragmatic. We use a lot of information and data. But at the end of the day, we know that God's plan is always above all of us and that He is sovereign and that we remain to be hopeful despite of this lockdown, despite of all these challenges, despite of what you guys will be experiencing after the lockdown, the new normal and hitting those targets. And you know, at the end of the day, we do not lose hope, and we put that hope. And as I say in my sessions, hope is not a situation, hope is not a mindset, hope is a person, and that person is our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay, Gerald, biglaan to. Can you close us into prayer? Can you pray for those listeners?
Hindi ako prepared dyan, ha?
Hindi kita sinabihan eh.
Sige. Alright. Okay. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this session, Lord God, for us to be able to, in a way, give some insights to our friends or to people out there, Lord God. And Lord, we continuously pray for you to give us hope, Lord God, despite what we're experiencing, despite what everyone is experiencing right now, Lord God. I know you're there. Your love for us never ceases, Lord God. You're always there to protect us, to provide, Lord God, and to take care of us, Lord God. Lord, most importantly, also, Lord God, I pray for everyone for you to fill everyone, Lord God, with joy in our hearts, Lord God, despite the things that we're experiencing, Lord God. As you said, Lord God, as you said, joy is the test of our faith, Lord. So continuously increase our faith. Lord, I pray for our country, Lord God. I pray for our leaders also, Lord God. I pray for you to prepare everyone, Lord God, on what will happen. Lord God, give wisdom, give discernment to our leaders, also to us all, Lord God, to prepare ourselves, Lord God, to the new normal, Lord God. Again, Lord, we thank you for all your blessings, for all your for taking good care of us, Lord God, for loving us, Lord God. This we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. So thank you, Arlene. Thank you, Gerald.
Thank you.
Thank you for Marketing Insights 101. Grabe, dapat pala bayad tong session na to, no? But, I thank you for doing it for free. And thank you that you do not lose hope and be sharing us your faith and your hope. All right. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe. Okay. And you will show a lot of more videos that are helpful for all of you pre-COVID, COVID, and post-COVID. Bye.